Hello and welcome to Millie White Cooks. Today's quick and easy step-by-step video is for my skinny chocolate chip cookies recipe, and that's not an oxymoron. My soft chewy cookies are packed with heart-healthy oats, hazelnuts and of course dark chocolate chips. And the best thing about these chocolate nut oatmeal cookies is that each one is only 83 calories with just 4 grams of total fat and 1 gram of saturated fat. That means that compared to the chocolate and hazelnut cookies from my local store, these homemade morsels of deliciousness are a third lower in calories and have nearly half the total fat and over 2/3 less saturated fat. That's cookie-tastic news. This recipe is perfect for a Valentine's treat for the one you love, and just to let you know, it's from my low-fat Christmas and Holiday Entertaining Recipe Cookbook. Links to this are in the detail box below. We'll start by taking a quick look at the ingredients list, which as always I'll give in both metric and American measurements. To make the chocolate chip cookie dough, you'll need 175 grams of wholemeal flour, which is equivalent to 1 1/3 cups of whole wheat flour, plus 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. Next I have a slightly unusual ingredient, which is 4 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk powder, and this really helps keep these lower fat cookies rich, soft and moreish. Did you know that oats are a heart-healthy superfood as they contain cholesterol-lowering beta-glucan dietary fibre, and I'm using 85 grams or 1 cup of rolled oats. You'll need 140 grams or 10 tablespoons of well-chilled sunflower spread. Now this is a special ingredient. It's a baking blend of brown sugar and stevia, the natural plant sweetener, and I'm going to use just 65 grams, which is equivalent to 4½ packed tablespoons. You can find this with the sugar and sweeteners in the grocery store, and the brands to look out for include Tate & Lyle in the UK or STEVIA in the US, and I'll pop some links to these in the description box below if you're unfamiliar with this blend, so you'll know what to look out for. Next, one of my favourite nuts, hazelnuts, and I'll be using 50 grams or ½ cup of blanched hazelnuts, along with 85 grams or ½ cup of dark chocolate chips. I'm going to use the seeds from this vanilla pod, or you could use 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And finally, I have 1 free-range egg, size medium in the UK or large in the US. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for lots more healthy eating video recipes. Now let's get cooking. Start by preheating the oven to 160 degrees Celsius fan or 350 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. Line 2 baking sheets with either baking parchment or silicone baking mats. Roughly chop the hazelnuts. You want them to look like this. Then set these aside. Cut the vanilla pod in half lengthwise and scrape out the seeds and pop them into a ramekin. Break in the egg and lightly whisk, making sure that the vanilla seeds are well combined with the egg. If you're using extract instead of a vanilla pod, add this to the egg and beat together. But I love those flecks of vanilla seeds. They're tiny explosions of flavour. Set the beaten egg aside too. Now you could use your stand mixer fitted with the paddle attachment to make these cookies, but really all you need are clean hands and a knife, so that's how I'm going to make mine. In this bowl I've added the flour and baking powder and whisked them together. Next I use a teaspoon and knife to add the sunflower spread into the flour in these little chunks. There, that's all now in the bowl, and then I'm simply going to rub the flour and spread together until it resembles coarse breadcrumbs. Whilst I do this, I just wanted to share with you that my chocolate chip cookies have 38% fewer calories and a massive 71% less saturated fat than the chocolate and hazelnut cookies from my local supermarket, yet they taste absolutely delicious and utterly decadent. Let's get back to making these soft and chewy cookies. Just keep rubbing the fat and flour together by running them between your fingers and thumb, and the mixture will soon look like this. Add in the oats and milk powder and rub together until everything is really well mixed. Although I really love my KitchenAid mixer, there's something so satisfying about making cookies by hand. Which way do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. Next, I'm going to add the sugar and toss this through, and I'm just having one final check to make sure that there are no really big chunks of fat left. That looks great. So in go the chopped hazelnuts and chocolate chips, and I'll just toss everything together to make sure it's all evenly combined. Next, pour in the egg and vanilla, making sure you scrape in all those precious seeds. Bring the dough together. I start by using a round bladed knife and then switch to my hands. Just lightly kneading the dough together. Take care not to be heavy-handed, as this will make the cookies tough. Just keep lightly kneading and the dough will come together just like this, with the bowl almost completely clean. Now I'm going to work on my silicone pastry mat, but you could also just very lightly flour your work surface and work on that. Cut the ball of dough in half, lightly reshape one half, then cut this into even-sized quarters. Then cut each quarter into 4 even-sized pieces. Roll each piece into a ball like this and repeat this process until you have 32 evenly sized balls. Now we've got one more stage to go before we bake the cookies. As these cookies have less fat and sugar than a standard cookie mix, they won't spread out so much when they bake, so they need a little help. The easiest and least fussy way to do this is just to lightly pat out each ball using your hand, just like this, then use a palette knife to transfer them onto a lined baking sheet. The cookies will look a bit rustically wonky this way, but will still taste absolutely fantastic. However, if you like your cookies to be more rounded, then it just takes a very little bit of extra work, and I think it's worth it. All you need is a 6cm or 2.5-inch round cutter. Place the cutter directly onto the lined baking sheet, then press in one of the balls of cookie dough, evenly flattening it out to the edges of the cutter, just like this. Then simply lift off the cutter and repeat. By the way, if you want to freeze some of these cookies, you would prepare them to this stage, but don't bake them. Instead, place them straight into the freezer and freeze uncovered for 2 hours. Once frozen through, place in a single layer into freezer bags or a container. To bake, remove the quantity that you need from the freezer about an hour before cooking or overnight in the fridge, and place back onto a lined baking sheet to defrost, then bake as follows. Once all the cookies are ready on the baking sheets, pop them into the oven and cook for 10 to 12 minutes until pale golden brown, just like these. Oh my, they smell like heaven. However, I am going to allow them to cool on the baking sheets for 10 minutes to firm up. Then I'm going to transfer to a wire cooling rack to cool completely. Before they do though, let's just take a look inside one of these. Look at that, my mouth is watering. So here they all are, a perfect gift on Valentine's Day, or any day for that matter, a heart-healthy treat for the one you love, plus a treat for the cook too. And on that note, I'm going to tuck into one of these with a lovely hot coffee right now. Yum, yum. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe if you have. You can find this recipe in my low-fat Christmas and Holiday Entertaining Recipe Cookbook with over 100 heart-healthy recipes for celebrations throughout the year, not just Christmas. It's available as a paperback or Kindle book from Amazon or as an ebook from iBooks, Nook or Kobo. You'll find all the links in the description box below. I hope you'll want to watch more videos in my low-fat cooking series like these ones here. Please also let me know if you make this or if you'd like to see a video of any other of my recipes. Thank you so much for your company, and bye for now.